According to the National Electrical Code, both the electrical metallic tubing, or EMT, and non-metallic cables, specifically NMB, are permitted for use in detached residential garages. However, each wiring method has specific requirements. Electrical metallic tubing must be installed with proper fittings and supports to ensure secure and safe installation. It must be grounded and bonded to the grounding system. Electrical metallic tubing is more durable and provides better protection against mechanical damage compared to non-metallic cables. Non-metallic cable, NMB, is often used for residential wiring because it's flexible and easy to install. It must be protected from physical damage using staples or clamps. Non-metallic cable is less durable than electrical metallic tubing and shouldn't be used where it might face significant mechanical stress. Consider environmental conditions when selecting a wiring method. In detached garages that might experience extreme temperatures or moisture, electrical metallic tubing may be better than non-metallic cable because it resists these conditions better. Electrical metallic tubing is more durable and better protects against rodents and other pests. Electrical metallic tubing is typically more expensive than non-metallic cable. Non-metallic cable is easier to install and requires less labor. While both electrical metallic tubing and non-metallic cables comply with the code for detached residential garages, electrical metallic tubing is generally recommended for its greater durability and protection. The best choice depends on factors like environmental conditions, budget, and ease of installation. Consulting a licensed electrician is always a good idea to determine the best wiring method for a specific situation. The National Electrical Code outlines safety standards for electrical installations, ensuring protection against hazards like fire and electric shock. Different wiring methods offer varying levels of protection and suitability for specific environments. Electrical metallic tubing provides a rigid conduit that safeguards conductors from physical damage, making it ideal for areas where wires are exposed or subject to impact. Non-metallic cable, while more flexible and easier to handle, is more vulnerable to damage and requires careful installation to prevent punctures or abrasions. Grounding and bonding are crucial aspects of electrical safety, ensuring that metallic components are connected to a common ground, providing a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and preventing an electrical shock. Proper installation techniques are essential to maintain the integrity of the wiring system and prevent potential hazards. This includes using appropriate fittings and connectors, securing cables and conduits to prevent movement, and protecting wires from sharp edges or abrasive surfaces. When choosing between electrical metallic tubing and non-metallic cable, consider the specific conditions of the garage environment. Factors such as exposure to moisture, temperature variations, and the presence of rodents or pests can influence the long-term performance and safety of the wiring system. Electrical metallic tubing offers superior protection in harsh environments, while non-metallic cable may be suitable for drier, less demanding locations. The cost of materials and labor is another important consideration. Electrical metallic tubing typically requires more labor to install due to its rigidity and the need for specialized tools and fittings. Non-metallic cable is generally quicker and easier to install, potentially reducing labor costs. However, the long-term durability and protection offered by electrical metallic tubing may outweigh the initial cost savings of non-metallic cable in some cases. Consulting with a qualified electrician can help you assess the specific requirements of your garage wiring project and determine the most cost-effective and safe solution. They can evaluate the environmental conditions, assess the potential risks, and recommend the appropriate wiring method and installation techniques to ensure compliance with the National Electrical Code and local regulations. Ultimately, the goal is to create a safe and reliable electrical system that protects occupants from electrical hazards and provides long-term performance. Remember to always disconnect power before working on any electrical circuits and to follow all applicable safety precautions. If you're not comfortable working with electricity, it's best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, serves as the cornerstone for safe electrical installations across the United States. It's a comprehensive set of guidelines and standards designed to minimize the risk of electrical hazards, protecting people and property from fire, electric shock, and other dangers. When it comes to wiring detached residential garages, the NEC provides specific requirements for different wiring methods, ensuring that installations are both safe and compliant. Two common wiring methods permitted by the NEC for this application are electrical metallic tubing, also known as EMT, and non-metallic cable, typically NMB. Each has its own advantages and disadvantages, and the choice between them depends on various factors. Electrical metallic tubing is a rigid metal conduit that offers excellent physical protection for electrical conductors. It's durable, resistant to impact, and can withstand harsh environmental conditions. Electrical metallic tubing is typically made of galvanized steel or aluminum, providing a robust barrier against moisture, corrosion, and mechanical damage. When installed correctly, electrical metallic tubing can effectively shield wires from rodents, pests, and accidental damage, ensuring a long-lasting and reliable electrical system. However, installing electrical metallic tubing requires specialized tools and techniques. It must be properly cut, bent, and joined using appropriate fittings and connectors. Electrical metallic tubing also needs to be securely supported and grounded to maintain electrical safety. Non-metallic cable, on the other hand, is a flexible wiring method that consists of insulated conductors encased in a non-metallic jacket. It is commonly used in residential wiring due to its ease of installation and lower cost. Non-metallic cable, like NMB, is relatively lightweight and can be easily routed through walls, ceilings, and floors. It doesn't require specialized tools for cutting or bending, making it a popular choice for DIY projects and general wiring applications. However, non-metallic cable is less durable than electrical metallic tubing and is more susceptible to physical damage. It can be punctured by nails, screws, or staples, and is vulnerable to rodent damage and environmental degradation. To protect non-metallic cable from damage, it must be properly supported and protected using staples, clamps, or other approved methods. It's also important to avoid running non-metallic cable in areas where it may be exposed to moisture, chemicals, or extreme temperatures. When choosing between electrical metallic tubing and non-metallic cable for wiring a detached residential garage, several factors should be considered. Firstly, the environmental conditions of the garage play a significant role. If the garage is exposed to moisture, humidity, or extreme temperatures, electrical metallic tubing may be the better choice due to its superior resistance to these elements. Secondly, the potential for physical damage should be assessed. If the garage is used for activities that could potentially damage wiring, such as woodworking or automotive repair, electrical metallic tubing provides better protection against impacts and abrasions. Thirdly, the budget for the wiring project is an important consideration. Electrical metallic tubing typically costs more than non-metallic cable in terms of materials and labor. Fourthly, the ease of installation should be taken into account. Non-metallic cable is generally easier to install, especially for those with limited electrical experience. However, it's crucial to ensure that non-metallic cable is properly supported and protected to prevent damage. Regardless of the wiring method chosen, it's essential to comply with all applicable codes and regulations. The National Electrical Code provides detailed requirements for wiring detached residential garages, including specifications for conductor size, overcurrent protection, grounding, and bonding. It's also important to check with local authorities for any additional requirements or restrictions. Consulting with a qualified electrician is always a good idea before starting any electrical work. A licensed electrician can assess the specific needs of your garage and recommend the most appropriate wiring method and installation techniques. They can also ensure that the wiring is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to leave it to the professionals if you're not comfortable or qualified to do it yourself. When it comes to electrical wiring in a detached residential garage, both electrical metallic tubing and non-metallic cables like NMB offer viable options, each with its own set of advantages and considerations. Electrical metallic tubing, renowned for its robustness and durability, provides superior protection against physical damage and environmental factors. Its rigid metal construction acts as a shield, safeguarding conductors from impacts, abrasions, moisture, and even pesky rodent. This makes electrical metallic tubing particularly well suited for garages that double as workshops or storage areas, where the risk of accidental damage is higher. On the other hand, non-metallic cables such as NMB boast flexibility and ease of installation, making them a popular choice for residential wiring applications. These cables consist of insulated conductors encased in a non-metallic sheathing, offering a cost-effective and convenient solution for running electrical circuits. However, non-metallic cables are not as resistant to physical damage as electrical metallic tubing, and they require careful handling and protection during installation. To ensure the longevity and safety of the electrical system, several key factors must be taken into account when deciding between electrical metallic tubing and non-metallic cables. Environmental conditions play a crucial role, with electrical metallic tubing being the preferred option in damp or corrosive environments where moisture or chemicals could compromise the integrity of the wiring. The level of physical protection required also influences the decision, as electrical metallic tubing provides a higher degree of safeguarding against impacts and abrasions. Cost considerations are also important, as electrical metallic tubing typically involves higher material and labor expenses compared to non-metallic cables. Lastly, ease of installation should be factored in, with non-metallic cables offering a more straightforward and less labor-intensive installation process. In addition to these factors, adherence to the National Electrical Code is paramount when installing electrical wiring in a detached residential garage. The NEC outlines specific requirements for wiring methods, conductor sizing, overcurrent protection, and grounding, all aimed at ensuring the safety and reliability of the electrical system. It is crucial to consult the latest edition of the NEC and any applicable local codes to ensure compliance. Ultimately, the decision of whether to use electrical metallic tubing or non-metallic cables for wiring a detached residential garage hinges on a careful assessment of the specific needs and conditions of the project. Weighing the advantages and disadvantages of each option, considering environmental factors, physical protection requirements, cost constraints, and ease of installation, will lead to an informed decision that prioritizes safety, durability, and compliance with the National Electrical Code. Remember, if you lack experience or expertise in electrical wiring, it is always best to consult with a qualified electrician who can provide professional guidance and ensure that the installation is performed safely and correctly. When considering wiring for a detached residential garage, understanding the nuances between electrical metallic tubing and non-metallic cable, particularly NMB, is crucial. Both are permitted under the National Electrical Code, but their suitability varies depending on specific conditions and priorities. Electrical metallic tubing offers robust protection. It's a steel or aluminum conduit that encases wires, shielding them from physical damage, moisture, and even rodents. This makes it ideal for environments where the wiring is exposed or susceptible to impact, such as workshops or garages with heavy equipment. Electrical metallic tubing needs proper installation. It requires specialized tools for cutting, bending, and joining sections, as well as fittings to ensure secure connections. Grounding is also critical, requiring bonding to the electrical system to prevent shocks. Non-metallic cable is more flexible and easier to install. NMB cable, commonly used in residential wiring, consists of insulated wires wrapped in a plastic sheath. It's lightweight and can be easily run through walls and ceilings, making it a popular choice for simpler wiring projects. Non-metallic cable is less durable and needs protection. It's vulnerable to punctures and abrasions, so it must be properly secured with staples or clamps to prevent damage. It's also not suitable for direct burial or exposure to harsh chemicals. When making your decision, several factors come into play. Firstly, consider the environment. If the garage is damp, corrosive, or prone to physical impacts, electrical metallic tubing provides superior protection. Secondly, assess the potential for damage. If the wiring is likely to be bumped, scraped, or gnawed on by rodents, electrical metallic tubing is the safer choice. Thirdly, think about your budget. Electrical metallic tubing typically costs more than non-metallic cable due to the materials and labor involved in installation. Fourthly, evaluate your skill level. Electrical metallic tubing installation requires more expertise and specialized tools compared to non-metallic cable. The National Electrical Code sets the standards. Regardless of your choice, ensure compliance with the National Electrical Code, which outlines specific requirements for wiring methods, conductor sizing, and grounding. Consult local codes as well, as they may have additional requirements. Recommendation is always advisable to consult with a qualified electrician. They can assess your specific needs, evaluate the environment, and recommend the most appropriate wiring method for your detached residential garage, ensuring safety and compliance. Ultimately, the goal is to create a safe and reliable electrical system that meets your needs and protects your property. Electrical work can be dangerous, so if you're not comfortable working with electricity, leave it to the professionals.